Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
Capital News tonight. The government has directed livestock seized in reserve areas be returned to rightful owners. The government has stopped eviction of residents in 620 villages bordering national parks. And in sports, Taifa Stars win 3-2 against Madagascar in the World Cup qualifier played in Dar es Salaam. Hello and good evening. This is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Nasma Mwambe. Let's get started with the national news. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed all livestock, including more than 5,000 cattle seized from herders in reserved areas whose cases have been resolved, to be released and returned to the rightful owners. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa the directive in Dar es Salaam during a meeting with stakeholders in the livestock sector.
Wizara ya Mifugo na Uvuvi ishiriki kikamilifu katika kutatua migogoro baina ya wafugaji na watumiaji wengine wa ardhi.
The Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries should fully participate in resolving disputes between breeders and other land users. Make sure pastoralists receive education and breeding in accordance with the areas they have. The Council should make sure the pastoralism will not cause conflict between pastoralists and other land users. There is a breeder who came and complained about 5,000 cows being held. For the Ministry, it is important to get this information on where the animals have been held, and if there is no solution, the Ministry must go very quickly and intervene so that you solve these issues.
Kuanzia mwaka wa 2020 hadi mwaka 2025, wizara imepanga kuboresha mifugo kwa kuimirisha ng'ombe milioni 5.
From 2020 to 2025, the ministry plans to improve livestock by doing crossbreeding for 5 million cows, equivalent to an average of 1 million cows per year. I call on local government authorities to include all pastoralists in the country to do crossbreeding to at least 20% of cattle every year for a period of 5 years. The government has stopped eviction of residents in 620 villages bordering various national parks in the country until the team of 8 people directed by the President to visit the villages does another evaluation in September this year to verify the borders in collaboration with the residents. The statement was made in Parliament, Dodoma, by the Minister of Land, Housing and Settlement Development, William Lukuvi.
Na yeye amesisitiza kwamba wananchi wote waliopo kwenye maeneo yao wasiondolewe katika vijiji 920. Uamuzi huo vile vile, lakini ametupa kazi ya ziada.
She stressed that the people who are present in the areas should not be removed from the 920 villages, but we need to make a review of the real situation first. We ask the citizen not to misuse this government decision. Be calm so that this evaluation can do you justice.
Kama walivyokuwa, ili kazi ya uhakiki ije iwatendee haki.
Meanwhile, Parliament has debated and approved the Miscellaneous Bill 2021 after it was presented by the Attorney General Professor Adeladris Kilangi, which include the Prevention of Human Trafficking Law, the Anti-Narcotic Law, as well as the amendment of the Migration Law, which has enabled the Migration Department to become a full-fledged force.
Inapendekezwa kufanyiwa marekebisho ili kuongeza uzito wa bangi na mirungi anaweza kukutwa nayo mtu katika makosa yanayosikilizwa katika mahakama kuu au mahakama ya hakimu mkazi au mahakama ya wilaya. Na lengo la marekebisho haya ni kupunguza mrundikano wa kesi katika mahakama kuu ambazo zingeweza kusikilizwa katika mahakama ya hakimu mkazi au mahakama ya wilaya. Kifungu cha 17 kinarekebishwa ili kufanya kuwa kosa la jinai kitendo cha kukutwa na au kutumia kiwango kidogo cha dawa za kulevya. Kwa sasa sheria inazuia kitendo hicho bila kutamka kuwa ni kosa la jinai.
The National Examination Council in the country has warned school owners, head teachers and ward executive coordinators against engaging in acts of cheating during the Standard 7 National Examination to be held on 8th and 9th of September this year. A stern action will be taken, including closing and cancelling examination centers found to be implicated in such acts. Make sure anyone who is not involved in the examination enters any school area in the entire period of performance of this examination. If we do so, we will help them to do these exams in a peace and calm. The council will not hesitate to cancel any examination center if it follows without any doubt the owner of the school has interfered with the responsibility of the administrators and therefore risking the safety of exams.
Ili swala liko sensitive sana na mara nyingi huwa tunapata shida hasa sisi kama walimu wa sekondari huko.
This issue is very sensitive, especially for us secondary school teachers. You find a student cannot read or write. The government has to be careful, especially in the issue of examination management. If this exam is a sufficient test, then bring us students who really deserve to come to secondary schools.
Hasa unajiuliza mitihani inakaribia.
The examinations are near and you hear the child of a certain man has been going to stay with a certain teacher. There are some kind of corruptions the government has to look at. 11 children have been rescued by the police force in Bear region after some of them were sold to livestock keepers for between 25 and 30,000 shillings to herd livestock in Barali district.
Kwamba mnamo tarehe 5 mwezi wa 9 mwaka 2021 majira ya saa 2 asubuhi katika kijiji cha Mahango kilichoko wilaya ya Barali mkoa wa Mbeya.
On 15th of September this year, around 8 a.m. in Mahango village, Barali district, Mbeya region, we managed to arrest Daniel Elias, a resident of Nsonga, and Kamungu Julius, a resident of Rimba, for a crime of child labor. The suspects used children living in difficult conditions and sold them to pastoralists for 20 to 30,000 shillings each, where they were taken to do livestock keeping activities. After we received the report, we managed to rescue a total of 11 children aged between 10 to 14 years.
The Minister of State, President's Office for Regional Administration and Local Government, Umi Mwalimu, has banned the transfer of teachers in peripheral district without being replaced, as this caused some villages to face a shortage of teachers, as many of them have been posted in urban areas.
Kuna wengine mimi najua walienda kuripoti kwa lengo la kupata check number, alafu baadaye wanataka kubadilishwa. Maelekezo yangu kwenu.
I know some went to report just to get a check number and later on they want to be transferred. This is my call to you. It is strictly prohibited to transfer teachers who have been sent into the outskirts of the council without sending other alternative teachers. What I see is that everybody wants to work in the city councils. These Tanzanian children in regional and peripheral councils have the right to have teachers.
Wana haki ya kupata walimu.
Katika kushughulikia masuala ya maadili na nidhamu ya walimu tumeweza kufanya.
In addressing the discipline and ethic of teachers, the Commission has done the following. A total of 12,694 teachers' councils were opened and 10,404 councillors were concluded after the investigation. 1,790 cases are in various stages of implementation. The Deputy Minister of Land, Housing and Settlement Development, Dr. Angelina Mabula, has said that the government plans to prepare a book on guidelines in order to protect traditions and customs of 120 tribes in the country. She made a statement on behalf of the Minister of Information, Arts, Culture and Sports, Innocent Bashungwa, at the launch of the Cultural Festival in Mwanza region.
Uwepo wa kitabu hiki utasaidia sana kuhamasisha jamii kutambua na kuthamini utamaduni wetu.
The presence of this book will go a long way in encouraging the community to recognize our culture and its values, and the importance of Tanzania culture.
Umuhimu wake ni kuthamini utamaduni wa Mtanzania.
Na kesho itakuwa ni kilele.
Tomorrow will be the end of the exhibition, and tomorrow will also not be the day for all the citizens of Mwanza province to miss. The official guest will be the President of United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan. Please, all the citizens of Mwanza, let us come out in large numbers to receive our great leader of the country.
Pamoja na hayo, shukrani za kipekee. Tunamshukuru sana Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania.
In addition, we thank the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, our dear mother Samia Suluhu Hassan, for accepting to be the guest of honor at this festival launched today. We all know she has much work to do, but still accepted to be our guest of honor. We thank you so much.
That's it for the national news. International news comes next after the break.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa,
The show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
Welcome back, and now in international news. An initial investigation into the escape of 6 Palestinian prisoners who tunneled out of a high-security Israel prison shows that surveillance cameras recorded the moment the men exited the tunnel, but none of the guards in the control room noticed. More on the report.
The probe launched by Israel's prison authority revealed one of the guards at the Gilboa jail, who was on duty in the watchtower overlooking the tunnel opening, fell asleep during the escape. The prison authority has evacuated 90 Palestinian prisoners out of a total of 360 held in Gilboa, one of Israel's most secure facilities. The prison will undergo an intensive inspection for other tunnels that may have been dug by other detainees.
The mayor of Kampala City in Uganda, Elias Lukwago, has announced that the buildings constructed during the coronavirus lockdown will be inspected and that those found to be substandard will be demolished. The announcement comes after a 4-story building collapsed on Sunday, killing 6 people.
Wengi wamejenga majumba kwa haraka kuhepa kubainika.
Others are constructing structures very fast, abusing all the processes and standards set. It is very unfortunate that we have a list of below standard structures, including this one. We're going to track and hold investigations to all of them and destroy them before they cause implications in future.
U.S. Secretary of State Anton Blinken and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin have met with Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad and other Qatar officials in Doha for talks on Afghanistan shortly after the Taliban claimed to have taken full control of the country. More on the report.
In the meeting, Blinken thanked the Gulf state ruler for Qatar's extraordinary support in facilitating a safe transit of U.S. citizens, partners and other Afghans at risk during the chaotic military pullout from Afghanistan. On Tuesday, Blinken and Austin met with Qatar Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani and Defense Chief Khalid bin Mohammed Al Taya. Blinken said Washington will continue work with Qatar and other regional partners to evacuate U.S. citizens and vulnerable Afghans from Afghanistan.
Leaders in Kilifi County in Mombasa, Kenya, which was the highest rate of COVID-19 cases out of 5 counties, have said that due to the increasing infection, those who have died from the virus will be buried within 72 hours. Now, moving on, Kenya has opened an embassy in Goma, North Kivu, the Democratic Republic of Congo, whereby, among other priorities, will be to address challenges faced by Kenyan nationals conducting business activities in Eastern Congo.
Nje ya Kenya. Tumekuja hapa kufungua consulate ya Kenya hapa Goma.
We are here to launch Consulate of Kenya in Goma. Indeed, it is a happy day because our President Uhuru Kenyatta and the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, have decided that, and as civil servants, we must fulfill the directive. This consulate will help a lot in issues of trade, tourism, politics, and so on.
And that's it for the international news. Business comes next after a short break.
Tune in to Business Edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and now in business news. Tanzania Fertilizers Regulatory Authority has assured farmers in the Southern Highlands that in the new farming season there will be no delayed distribution of fertilizers, as the government is monitoring closely to ensure timely distribution of inputs.
Mbolea mpaka tunapoongea na wewe hivi kuna maeneo ambapo mbolea ipo nyingi ya kutosha. Kwa mfano tumefanya ziara hivi karibuni.
As we speak, there is sufficient fertilizer. Where recently we visited Southern Highland Zone, there is more than 40,000 tons of fertilizer. Again, in a period of 2 months ago, fertilizer was imported in the country with more than 150,000 tons. These efforts are made before the big cultivation season began.
Kama mnavyofahamu, mbolea ni pembejeo muhimu katika uzalishaji na usalama wa chakula nchini.
Fertilizer is a very important agricultural input in production and food security of the country. Hence, monitorization of quality of fertilizer products must be done so that farmers will end up with good yields.
The government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, has started talks with tobacco buying company, Tanzania Leaf Tobacco Company Limited, TLTC, aimed at addressing challenges that had caused the company to stop its activities in the country since 2018.
Msingi ambayo tunahitaji tuweze kuyaresolve kwanza, na wao masuala yao wanayotaka tuyaresolve.
There are some things that needs to be resolved first, and secondly, we have urged the board to revisit their decision so that if there are things that needs amendments, they should speak up. We shall have a second meeting in October. As the government, TLC is an important organ. Even if they will leave, we need a body that will monitor tobacco sector and have an investor who will invest in the sector. We had a very fruitful meeting with them and we are grateful.
The government plans to improve road infrastructure in Gombe and Mahale Mountains National Park and to purchase speedboats in order to facilitate transportation and increase the number of tourists visiting the parks.
Tuko na mkakati wa kuhakikisha kwamba barabara kwa mfano inayotoka kule Chankere kuja Mwamgongo inafunguliwa.
We have the plan of renovating roads so as to make Gombe Reserve more accessible by many. Not only that, we are determined to improve means of transport like speedboats. All these are done to connect tourist attractions within this zone.
Kutangaza vivutio vyetu vya ndani kwa sababu tuna package kubwa sana vivutio vyetu vya ndani wenyewe sisi wenyewe ndo tuwe mabalozi wa kutangaza vivutio vyetu. Nchi nyingine watakuja baada ya sisi kutangaza, kufika na kuvitangaza.
And that's it for the business news. Sports comes next after a short break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lind.
Welcome back, and now in sports news. The national team Taifa Stars have made Tanzanians happy following a 3-2 win against Madagascar in the World Cup qualifier that was played at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam. It looked like Taifa Stars would blown a 2-0 lead after going forward through Erasto Nyoni and Novatus Dismas as Madagascar equalized all 2 goals before halftime. The Stars' savior was young African midfielder Faisal Salum, who scored the third, finishing a marvelous pass from captain Mbwana Samata.
Simba, who celebrate their week annual
champions Simba Sports Club, have invited TP Mazembe for the friendly match on Simba Day celebrations, and here is more.
Mark the peak of their week with a friendly with the aim of showcasing their new jerseys and players, and this time around their opponent will be TP Mazembe. Simba Day is scheduled to be on 19th of September at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam.
2 of the most senior figures in European football have attacked FIFA's plans to reform the international calendar and implement a biennial World Cup, warning they are risking diluting the game's jewel and will put players' health at risk. Here's more.
Speaking at a meeting of the European Club Association in Geneva, UEFA's President Alexander Seferin told representatives of more than 100 clubs, "You've probably heard that FIFA is conducting a feasibility study about the World Cup every 2 years. Well, we think that the jewel of the World Cup has value precisely because of its rarity. Holding it every 2 years will lead to less legitimacy, and it will unfortunately dilute the World Cup itself." That message was reinforced by the ECA President Nasser Al-Khelaifi, Chief Executive of Paris Saint-Germain, who issued a veiled attack on FIFA as he warned that the reform of the international match calendar needed honest engagement, not unilateral and self-interested decisions. On Friday, Arsene Wenger, FIFA's Chief of Global Football Development, outlined proposals that could lead to a World Cup or European Championship being staged every summer.
Brazil football great Pelé said on Monday that he was recovering in hospital from surgery to remove a tumor from his colon. Here are more details.
Pelé, the only player to win 3 World Cups, did not say whether the tumor was malignant, but the 80-year-old former Santos and New York Cosmos player said he was feeling good. The Albert Einstein Hospital in Sao Paulo said in a statement that they were keeping Pelé in intensive care, but expected to transfer him to a room today. The tumor has been set for tests, it added. The news came just hours after a Brazilian news outlet said Pelé had spent 6 days in hospital after going in for his annual medical.
For half an hour on Monday night, Novak Djokovic's opponent in the US Open's 4th round, Jenson Brooksby, gave him an all-night scare and created a ruckus atmosphere around the lights of Arthur Stadium. Here are more details.
That let Djokovic know that Brooksby, a 20-year-old wildcard from California ranked 99th in the world, belonged. And then, unsurprisingly, Djokovic showed why he has managed to move within 3 victories of the first calendar year Grand Slam in men's tennis in 52 years. Settling in and sending messages to Brooksby with some stare downs, Djokovic improved to 25-0 in majors this year by winning 1-6, 6-3, 6-2 and 6-2. He extended his pursuit of a record-breaking 21st major championship while also eliminating the last American singles player in the tournament. It is the first time in the history of an event that dates to the 1880s that no man or woman from the host country has reached the quarterfinals.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. Thank you for watching and good night.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.
Karen, tell us how has it been going at this year's festival?
Well, the turnout, Vanessa, is amazing as it is.
Thomas, hello.
Nice to be there with you.
What is the purpose of this meeting and who will be in attendance?
Talking about how African countries can stop relying to a large extent on...
We are definitely seeing a lot of deeply political films, either directly treating a political issue or with a political subtext.
Don't miss the live special report between Capital Television and Dashwell Television at 9:30 p.m.